Speaker.
You muted me. You muted me.
Okay. Senator Ireti, we can hear you now.
I can hear you too.
Fantastic. So, welcome to. Oh my goodness. Is this how difficult it is to change Nigeria? Every little thing we have to do, we have to suffer. It's
Yes,
okay.
blood, sweat, and tears.
If you're here on this space, you're welcome to. I think this is the beginning of so much that we're expecting, and we're happy to have Senator Ireti Kingibe here. It's a long time, and a lot of people have been waiting and looking up to this. But like I know, and I said that today is going to be like the beginning of so many things, that's a journey that we're going to start. So we're not going to waste any time. We're going to go on it because, again, we're not going to spend so much time here. And because I had a conversation with you just a couple of hours ago, and I was shocked that you actually joining us from the hospital. Madam Senator, talk to us about, as an introduction, talk to us about your today. We want to know, we want to have a sneak peek into what your everyday is like. Today is Sunday. What are you up to? Are you just sleeping with your leg up, or you are taking champagne somewhere, or maybe you are in France somewhere reading newspaper? We just want to know what.
Dr. Mo, I wish I could just have a bit of time to just rest. I've been up since 4 a.m. because somebody was very sick. And then eventually I got them to the hospital. I was in the hospital till around 2. Then I had an engagement with Brightak Secondary School in Lube. I went there because they were having a debate and they were expecting me, and it didn't matter what was going on. I did not want to disappoint them because they're kids. Children are very impressionable. They were looking forward to seeing me, and I knew they had to see me.
Madam Senator, we can hear you, but you're sounding faint. I don't know if I'm the one, but you're sounding a little like much, you're distant from your, from the,
Okay, you know what I'm going
your,
to do?
yeah.
I think at least my can you hear me now?
You sound very distant from your phone, from whatever tool you're using. You need to up the volume so we can really feel and hear you.
Okay, try that. Yes. No, my phone doesn't have that option. Okay. I'm going to go to the counter. Let me go to the counter. I have to put it in the case. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I mean, we
Can
can
you hear
hear
me?
you. It's just that from
Okay.
my end, it sounds like you are across the road talking to me.
Yeah, I think she's
Can you
better
hear me
now.
better?
Yeah, loud, very loud.
I don't know
Okay.
what the problem is.
No, you're good now.
Actually, that's quite okay. That's fine, ma.
You're very fine now. You're good.
No, but still can't put na mode air conditioner. Turn it off. I just want to see whether it will be better in here. Hello?
Yes, ma, we can hear you.
So can you no, just mind you shut the door. And then I hadn't eaten anything all day, and it was almost 4 o'clock. I found something to eat, and then I came back to the hospital. I'm in the hospital still. Hello, Dr. Mo, are you still there? Hello?
We can hear
Yes,
you,
we
ma.
can hear you. We can hear you, ma. You're
You can
loud and
hear
clear.
me?
Yes.
We can
Okay,
hear you
all
loud
right.
and clear.
Okay, so you heard my sigh
You
of
said you
frustration.
Yes, so I'm now back in the hospital. So I left the accident and emergency to come and make this, to come and join the space. Thank you for joining us, Ma. Uh-huh. Can you hear us? We've lost her again. Oh, hello, Ma. There? Hello? Dr. Mo, are you there? Wow. But you're back now.
Mama, we can hear
Hello,
you.
I can hear you.
Okay.
Okay, then. Hello. Hello,
We
Ma.
can
We can
hear you
hear
now.
you.
We can hear you. Can you hear us?
Yeah, she said she can
Ma'am,
hear
we
us.
can, we can, she can, apparently
Yes,
you
I
can
can hear
hear
you,
us.
Dr. Mo. I can
You
hear
can
you, but
hear,
you come
okay.
and you go.
I can hear you very well.
Dr. Mo, I think she was done with with the event that happened today. I think that was what she was trying to.
Yeah, but she's trying to, I think the network she's using is also, because you can see she's trying to connect.
Oh yeah, she's down.
Okay,
Dr. Mo, while
while
we're
we're at that,
waiting.
Randy Peter, where are you? I'm trying to see. Is Randy up? It was up a few. Where's Randy? Randy Peters.
Yeah, I saw him earlier. He was on the mic. I don't know what happened.
He's disappeared. Hmm. Randy, if you're there, please request the mic because you need to be up here so we can find out from you because
I am here
I think a
anyway.
couple of okay. Uh, Senator is back. Randy wasn't is not here. I wanted to just find out from him because there was an event that Madam Senator was attending as a guest in Abuja, and certain remarks were made, and it all went viral everywhere, including in the IKG and all the places. And I think it was in response to that Randy Peters, went to the National Assembly and made a video and called Senator Ireti out. And we can see from your handle that you even shared the meetings you had with them. If you can hear me, we'd like you to talk about the meeting and what prompted you to call Randy and what are you doing so we can just hit it up straight. Um, we learned you're also in the committee for electoral reform. We don't want to keep you because we want to have, because you're in the hospital, well, we might not go into technicalities, but we need you to talk to us on what's happening with the electoral reform. Talk to us about the submissions that Randy and his team made to you, and just give us a holistic, insight into the whole electoral reform and what the committee is doing and what are the expectations. I just want to see if we can, you know, crash in on time and get the best of you before this network gets, you know, the glitches. Since the glitches of the INEC in 2023, everything has been glitching, so, and it's just tough to hold a simple conversation. But
Yep.
if you can
Okay,
hear
Dr.
me, Madam
Mo.
Senator, I just
Yes,
needed to
I
give
can
us
hear you.
a
Can you hear me? Well,
yes, I
I
can hear
had
you
been
now.
at an event. where I said that it's not enough for the young people to insult the president, to insult Minister Wike, and insult me. You have to engage us constructively. Tell us what you want, and let's take it from there. So Randy Peters now went and called on me, saying, okay, he's now decided to engage constructively, no more insults. Here, the beginning for him is electoral reforms. And he was calling on me. And he was screaming, Senator Ireti, where are you, Senator Ireti, where are you? So I called you, I believe, to say, can you find that young man for me and tell him I'll meet him wherever he wants in Abuja today, which was yesterday. We then met up. I said to him, okay, here I am. You've been screaming my name. Here I am. So we talked. He gave me the electoral reform, told me he would like us to look at it, work on it, and I collected it yesterday. When I get to the National Assembly, we don't sit tomorrow, but on Tuesday, I would go around, I would engage all the other people on my committee of electoral reforms. We've been sitting with Yaga and a lot of CSOs, INEC, anybody who has an input, trying to reform the Electoral Act. And I will add Randy's request to them at a committee meeting, which we can call for anytime soon. But I want you all to know that the National Assembly is a collective where the will of the majority carries the day. Us, the minority, might have their say, but so any of these reforms or how you have called on Senator Ireti, call on other senators as well. Many senators have as much goodwill towards the people as I do. So call on them too, your representatives, and let them know that this is what you need. Mine called on me, and they were, well, even if they're not, I believe Randy Peters might be my constituent. If he's not, he was in my constituency and called on me, and I responded. And I'm sure other representatives will also respond. That's as much as I can say because I only received the reform yesterday.
Thank you, Madam Senator, for that. I'm not going to hold the mic for too long. I'm going to ask the people on stage right now. We'll just take a question each, and then we'll look at the questions that have been dropped, and you respond to them. Like I told you when I learned you were in the hospital, I said we are going to have an introduction today, and maybe in the next 1 week or 2 weeks, we're going to set this room because now you have said by Tuesday you're going to take certain actions. We would come down to what actions you've taken. I was just
Dr.
reading through your timeline on
setting those actions would depend on who I find. You've given me an assignment. Let me do it and get back to you. If I get there on Tuesday, I don't find the Senate president, or I don't find the speaker, or don't find the chairman, you will say I said I was going to do it on Tuesday. It is dependent on the people I find, but I will find them, if not on Tuesday, when they are in the National Assembly.
Thank you, ma'am. I just have one question for you before I let other people come in.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you said something about being in the minority, and I want to find out, and I'm asking this question rhetorically for everybody here. Is there a possibility that you'll be in the House and not be able to speak? And why and how is that possible?
You know, I'm always amused when I hear them saying, and they didn't say anything. The Labour Party senators, nobody speaks unless you are given the floor by the Senate president. And I assure you, especially most minority gets less speaking time, and Labour Party senators even less. And as much as I complain about not getting much speaking time, the male Labour Party senators get even less speaking time than Senator Ireti. So you cannot say anything unless you're given the floor. So the people who send us to the National Assembly as minority senators, they didn't take into consideration that things are not going to be as easy as going there and screaming and shouting what you want. It has to be a long, slow haul because we are Labour Party, minority senators. So I listen to them say, she didn't say anything. That's why I bring my opinions onto my Twitter handle, because I figure and I've already told them that. I said, what you don't let me say on the floor, I will take to the public space. Then when I bring it to the public space, I get told, so why didn't you say it on the floor? I can only say it on the floor if they give me permission to speak it.
Oh, wow. This is an eye opener for us. Is that why some senators go as much as stealing the maize and causing confusion because they are not granted the opportunity to speak? Anyway, let me let Mazi come in now, and then Bolanle, and then we'll get Madmo to take some questions online. And if we
Well,
have the
nobody
opportunity,
has
we'll get
stolen the
one of the
maize
two
in
people
my
talk.
assembly, so I'm not sure why they steal the maize. We obviously are more mature and a little older and has reached that state of confusion. Hello?
Very well noted. Very well noted. But on a last note from me,
Mhm.
if you really want your voice to be heard, is there, what can you do other than banging your hand on the table, or what else can you do? Because I mean, I can imagine the frustration just keeping your hand up and you would not be granted access to be able to speak. That can be so frustrating.
Well, believe it or not, when we do go out to and go to our constituents and make a lot of noise, our voice is heard. They do hear it even in the Senate. And they would prefer that we say it on the Senate floor than on the streets.
That is well noted. I mean, this is good. Bolanle, are you there?
I'm here. I'm here. Yeah, what I wanted to ask is, because it's like, I know that for the obedient movement, this is high up on our priorities, right? That we need to see electoral reform, but what's the appetite for it like in this?
Before I go on, let me postulate from the Franz Fanonian dictum, which stipulates that the dialectics of reconciling two conflicting ideas is the algebra of revolution. The overbearing intervention of the state government had further exacerbated oporombium and amounting to sadomasochisms. Acrimony and chaos in our community. It was a contumelious stratagem by political jobbers to siphon monies. We suffer what we call political axivia non torum. Conclusively, we are a microcosm of the issues in the Niger Delta in the macrocosm. Today, we as a people are stating, voxe populi, voxe Dei.
Today, I want to declare without equivocation. Sorry, please. Declare, leader.
because we respect their views.
Very, very well noted, ma'am. I'm
For some
trying.
of the Hello?
Somebody is asking a very interesting question here. He said, let's say Tinubu decides to carry out electoral and judicial reform, but then refuses to allow them in 2027. And then the courts support him the same way he did in 2023. What would we do?
It's not for me to tell you what you would do. I don't. Why are you expecting not to respect them? If he's the one who signed them and accepted them, he's more likely to just go ahead with them.
Okay. Madmo, are you there? Let's take some questions. I also have
Yes, Randy, you guys on the mic also. So please do well to request for the mic if you have questions for the senator or post it on the comment section.
yes.
Okay, Mazi is yeah.
Hello, Senator. Good
Hello,
day.
good evening.
Yeah, good evening from here. Nice speaking to you here through this medium. Senator,
You too.
the question that bugs many of us is where and how would you want Nigerians to help you to demand? Because I mean, we can, the Nigerian people can go on the streets, they can, come to the National Assembly, but obviously, for those of us in Abuja, you are our mouthpiece. How do we help to ensure that the electoral reforms that Nigerians are yearning for, that these will be signed, or rather, this will be finished by this current Senate, then pushed to the president? I know that the moment it goes to the president, you people no longer have any say, but at least in that case, it may be left for us to then go and occupy the presidency. But for now, as our senator, what and how do you expect us to help to ensure that these bills are expedited, or that we see that these bills are passed?
Okay, see, the way you are putting me, your senator, under pressure, because I'm your representative, you have access to me. As I said, occupying anywhere is not my first line of action. Going and engaging and insisting to your representatives, in the Senate, 109 of them, and in the House, 360 of them. That is the first place to start. Regardless of what you all think, the senators and the House of Rep members do respond to the wishes of their people when they feel their people feel very strongly about it. And when that is done, we will convey that to the president. He also is the president of the country. He wants as much peace and progress as anybody else. I'm also a firm believer in giving everybody the benefit of the doubt until they prove otherwise. If I haven't asked you for something, I'm not going to assume you're not going to give it to me. When I ask you and you refuse, then I can do whatever I want. So have you heard me?
Yes, loud
There
and
are
clear.
many people. See, we are the ones you have access to, not the president. It is us. Do you know how many regular people I've interacted with today? Children, teachers, coaches, so many different people, because they have access to me. Same way other constituents have access to their representatives.
Senator, thank you very much for that. Obviously, as our rep, will have access to you.
Mhm.
Now, for the benefit of those listening to us and for the people in Abuja, key areas
Mhm.
that you would want to be seen changed before the next election to ensure that we have a
Yes, everybody. That's the whole point of the. You know how much we've gone on retreats. We've spent sometimes 3, 4, 5 days. The Electoral Matters Committee. We've been working so hard on it. We wouldn't bother if we didn't think it, because we want it done by 2027 election. That's the goal anyway.
All right.
I
Thank you so
understand.
much.
Sorry, I understand.
Mazi,
Sorry,
have
I
you done?
understand that. No, no, sorry. I understand that that is the goal. My question specifically is, maybe you can give us key highlights or key points, areas you as a person, that areas you are interested to see changed before the 2027 election.
Well, I can't give you specifics right now. I'm sitting in a dark car and I have not slept for almost 24 hours. But if you reach out to my office, I can even tell you what reforms we've already even put in place because I have it. Do you understand? Waiting to add more. But right now, I can't tell you off the top of my head. I want free and fair elections. Do you understand? Just as you do. I'm open to ideas that you all feel would give us free and fair elections.
Okay. Umar, go ahead.
Okay, my senator, good evening.
Good
Um,
evening.
Mine is more of a contribution and observation, and of course, perhaps some recommendations. First of all, is to thank you for squeezing out time to listen to Nigerians. There are so many senators, over 100 of them, who sit in the comfort of their homes and don't have time for the people, for the youth, for those that they elect. That's number one. Number two, I want to say that Madmo, beautiful one, every youth concern and those listening, what we are doing here is for the interest of Nigeria and for Nigerians. And so we don't expect the senator to tell us what to do. I will tell you something. She's also doing her job, but then we ourselves, what we are doing is bearing fruit. And that is why she's able to be put on this hot spot, because that's exactly why she's there to represent us and she's doing it. So what we are doing is good. Let's keep doing it. Let's ask the questions. Let's occupy the National Assembly. Is an open space. They need to be accountable to the people. And so hoping that she'll give us answers. Of course, we're trying to put her on the spot. She's representing us. She's doing well. And on the other part, I want to also appeal for electoral reforms. Power, like the president said, in the past, that is not given on the platter. You go get it. Reforms are not something you sit down. No politicians, even Amechi has said it, wants to give up what is enjoying. Recently, we saw allegedly Wike's son, showing his lifestyle, and people are not comfortable if that is true. If it's truly his son, so we need to keep doing what we're doing. We're doing a very good job. Let's put that pressure. Because look, 2027 is not going to be funny. Post 2027 election, if it goes bad, it's not going to be. It's nobody, no senator, even Senator Ireti herself, she's on a spot. But you see, it's what we show, how we react, and that's what we are doing now. That we show the way forward. So, Senator Ireti, keep on doing your good job. God bless you, ma. It's not easy. And for we Nigerian youth, let's keep the pressure. We need to increase the momentum. Thank you so much. That's my take. God bless you.
I want to add something, like I've always said, and I said it yesterday when I sat with them. Occupying anywhere is not the way to go. When I was young, we've had problems. We didn't occupy anywhere. The people that is personal to you from your constituency, your own representatives, hold them accountable. So whenever I hear you all screaming president, before you get to him, hold the ones that is personal to you accountable. Am I making sense to you?
Mama, you are. But I want to say that when Jonathan removed subsidy, the whole world, even the president went to the streets, the current president went to the street, hit the streets.
Yes,
It
but
was
that
not
was
just
a different matter, because it's
the
not
whole,
as if it was a process that we got there. It was a reaction to something. Let us work with the process first before you go to the streets. Do you understand? Let us
yes.
work. Exactly. Let us work with the process first. Going to the street may not be necessary. Like, I know that we also want a lot of reforms. We, your representatives. So put pressure on us first. Talk to
I
us,
know,
engage us.
I know we don't expect you to tell us not to hit the street because it will be DSS will cover. We
I'm not
understand you're not
telling
asking
you.
us, but
No, yes,
No,
but
but
still,
the only
even
way
when I'm
uh,
not
uh,
expected to tell you,
unless I tell you
seriously,
Umar,
I'm telling you to
Umar, I
engage
mean, how
with us
best,
first.
Mom, I'm coming, Madam Senator, I'm coming. And I mean, I think you have said what needs to be said regarding that, because at the end of the day, you are telling us to hold you responsible and hold the other
yeah.
senators responsible. That's how best it can get,
And
in
House of
terms of,
Reps, no, everything is not just done in the Senate. I'm saying
okay.
Abuja constituents should hold me responsible, just the same way other constituents should hold their representatives responsible. But you have to engage with them first. You can't hold me responsible. Like I said that day, I gave an example. If you don't want to eat dodo, tell me what you want to eat. Then let me go and look for it. But you can't just, when I give you dodo, you start fighting with me. Tell me what you want.
Yeah.
And that is why I immediately responded to Randy Peters, because he said, Madam, you said constructive. Here I am with constructive. I'm in the National Assembly. And that impressed me. I instantly looked for him.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you
you
so
so much,
much,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Before Randy comes up, I'm going to take, we have, okay, it's gone down. Precious, can you take a shot at the question?
Good evening, Doctor. Good evening, distinguished Senator, and good evening
Good
to everybody.
evening.
First off, I first want to appreciate you, Ma. First, I wish you a happy Mother's Day today.
Thank
And
you.
also,
Thank you.
as a fellow mother, I celebrate you today, not just for the role you play in your family, but also for your tireless efforts in public services and your dedication and work that you've been doing. It's actually not going unnoticed. Unfortunately, I am not a part of your constituent, but I can boldly say I wish I actually am, But I'm actually here not because I have a question, but more like it's more like a cry for help. I don't know how to put it. Maybe I'm just coming with a bit of a heavy heart because I wish I had this access to my own, senator in where I am based here. So the thing is, I'm speaking like with a heavy heart and a deep sense of urgency because as a mother of four who is also caring for my elderly single mother, life here in Nigeria has become incredibly difficult, and the pressure on families like mine is incredibly overwhelming. Now, the cost of living, access to healthcare, the general insecurity have made all, have all made survival like a daily struggle for us. Now, I have been observing the efforts you're making at the FCT Day, and I must commend you for the visible changes you're making and the way you speak up for the people. It gives me hope, despite I'm not even there, but I see things like this and I really wish and I pray it could come to, places like mine. However, I could just, humbly ask if there's a way you could consider extending, some of that energy and compassion beyond, FCT. There are countless Nigerians, mothers and elderly citizens, struggling youths out there that, are silently suffering and they're in desperate need of support. But aside that, I would also still encourage you to please continue to be a voice for the voiceless and for the people of this incredible nation that we are, because we need more leaders like you who will not only understand our pain, but also act on it. Because the current government has not made things easy. And many people are, simply just trying to survive each day. It's just my own humble take. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Okay, I understand that, and I'm really, really grateful that you're showing appreciation, because most of the time I really do feel unappreciated. I give a lot of myself to my constituency. I try to. I try to also stand on the side of truth. Sometimes I know people are not going to like it, but that's the truth. So I'm grateful that you can see my goodwill towards the people. I'm really grateful. Thank you.
All right. Let's take it. Ejiro, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening, Mrs. Senator. I will not take time. I'll just go straight to the topic, electoral reform. And my point goes like this. If we're talking about electoral reform, I'm still looking at the already existing reform we already had that was brought about through the Jonathan administration.
Only the quite cool.
Hello?
Yes, sorry.
Yeah, so I said
Uh-huh.
I'll still bend on the existing electoral reforms that we already
Mm-hmm.
have, which which brought about the 2023 election. And I
Mm-hmm.
think the system we already have in place, if we can work with it closely while we push for other reforms, I think it will help us, because if you see what happened in the 2023 election, the old brigade, they are already aware that if they allow the process to go on smoothly, they'll all be kicked out. So I'm still a believer of the RRF and the BVAS machines. So my own opinion is based on if we can hold INEC and the Electoral Commission, hold them responsible for upcoming elections to make sure they own up to the guidelines which they have produced and they've given out to the people. Because if you look at the way things are going, looking from the Edo State election, the current brigade, they are trying to kick out some of these these reforms that have been able to eliminate fraud in the electoral process, whereby at the polling unit, because election is won at the polling unit, which we've been blessed to have the IRF, whereby results are uploaded directly from the polling unit. So I would like us to build more on that polling unit. If we can have a spread, because if you look at what happened with the Edo State election, they tried to upload fraudulent sheets, whereby when the forensics was going on, they could not defend those results. So if we can get a spread and make sure every result from the polling unit is uploaded directly, because we are in the age of technology. Technology can definitely eliminate a lot of loopholes. If they can do that, if we don't allow the glitches of the years before and the years now to not affect that process, I think we'll go a long way, because they already know that technology have already solved the problem. So they are trying to manipulate the process. But if we hold INEC to make sure their guideline is upheld and those results are transmitted in real time, even they don't want to make use of their own database, I think a Labour Party or whichever party will be up for the 2027 election should be able to have their own database, whereby each polling unit agent is able to upload the signed copy of that result, because definitely they will go in the way of vote buying and whatever, and destruction and whatever they can. But when we can mobilize the larger population and hold INEC responsibly to make sure our polling unit, because that's where we can win the election, at the polling unit, because the old brigade, they are not going to go down without a fight. So I'm
Ejiro.
still a believer of the IRF. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you,
Okay,
Ejiro.
I've heard
Please,
you.
can you just,
Thank you.
sorry, madam, before you come in, so that I'm trying to do quick so we can let you go, because the next
Yeah.
session we're going to have is going to be technical. Please, let's keep to the questions so that we can, if you're going to make remark, keep it within 60
Yeah,
seconds so that
the
we can go.
question is like, madam, can we still get that INEC guidelines to be upheld for upcoming election? Because they were trying to push us around at the end of the day that they can decide on how to transmit results. So that was my question, because IRF is a game changer.
Truthfully, I can't answer for INEC. Do you understand? I would like to think that yes, but that's just me, Senator Ireti, saying so, not INEC. Do you understand?
Yes, I understand that. My question is, can can INEC be can the guidelines of INEC be passed into law so that they cannot go back on their guidelines?
Well, that's one of the things that we're trying to do, and INEC has asked us to do that. So let's see what happens.
All right. Thank
Okay?
you
Thank
very
you.
much.
Okay.
Okay.
Mhm.
Chike.
Yeah, thank you very much. Good evening, Madam Senator.
Good evening.
Okay, the last speaker talked about the elections being won at the polling unit. I think that's for where everything works well. In Nigeria, elections may be declared at the polling unit, but are won at the courts. So my question is, as a member of this present Senate, who is involved in these judicial reforms now, are there also other reforms in the judicial sector of the of Nigeria? Because at the end of the day, if there are reforms, electoral reforms, and then elections are declared, everybody goes to the courts, and then that's where we get the judgments. So, are there currently ongoing reforms in the judicial arm of Nigeria? Because that's where we have, if we are going to succeed with whatever we are doing, it is in the judiciary. So that's my question. Is there something going on right now in form of reforms in the judiciary? Thank you.
Truthfully, I cannot tell you. I'm not a member of the Judicial Committee, but I can look into it and find out. If I told you yes or no, I wouldn't be honest, because I don't know is actually the correct answer. And but I will check on it.
Okay. Madam Senator, I want to find out from you, since the two things we're dealing with, in your next session with us, is it possible to have one of the senators that is in the committee for judicial reform so that you can talk to him, for whoever the person is or her, to be here with us to help answer some questions? Is that possible?
I will try to see if there's anyone who would like to come, but of course you do understand I cannot force them. But I think that if they're invited, they will come.
Thank you. Randy. Randy Peters, are you there? Randy Peters, are you there? It was on your instance that we fixed this meeting. Are you there?
Mm-mm.
I think his network is at it.
Uh-huh.
Something is wrong with his mic.
But Dr. Mo, I can see Randy Peters. He has unmuted himself, so he should be able to speak now.
Yeah, we're waiting to hear him. Randy, the mic is yours. And Randy, because we want to hear you, we want to ask you some of the items and highlights that because we saw on Senator Ireti's timeline that you handed over to her after the meeting you had in Abuja before you went to the chambers to go and call her out, and she responded. What was it you gave to her? Can you give us some of the highlights, maybe 1, 2, 3 points of the reform, so we can also hear it and talk to us? Randy, are you there? Can anybody hear
He
Randy?
might need, No, that's the case. Like, probably needs to step down and come back up. He's not. He's saying something, but it's not coming out.
Okay. So he's because I need him to do that so that I mean, Senator Ireti, I'm so sorry that because I mean
Can
I knew
anybody?
that you were in the hospital, but I
No
I
problem.
demanded for
Don't
you to
worry
be
about
here
it.
because
Sorry,
if we
guys.
cancel if we had
Randy is
cancelled
back now.
hold on, if we had canceled this meeting,
Randy is back, and we can hear him now.
okay, just Randy, are you there?
I'm with you, sir.
Okay, so Randy, I'm asking you that you had an occasion on electoral reform in Abuja where you had Dr. Tanko, you had Falana, you have Shehu Sani, and I think it was convened by one Pastor Oaks, if I believe. I know that last year I convened a meeting, where we had Ben Atena Bene, we had two House of Reps member, and by next week I'm going to be having them on space to tell us what has happened between last year and now. But talk to us. What was it you gave to Senator Ireti? What is the expectation? What are the highlights of your itemization?
Ah, Jesus Christ. All right. Thank you very much,
Randy,
sir.
we can hear you now.
Um, okay, you can hear me, Dr. Mo.
Loud and clear.
All right. Good evening, House. Let me special greetings to the distinguished Senator Hajia Ireti Kingibe.
Good
I
evening,
want to
Randy.
I want to specially appreciate you and happy Mother's Day to you, ma, for your
Thank
very
you.
prompt response. And the way I was screaming Ireti, Ireti, someone will think that there is something else to it. But you called us immediately. You listened like a mother and you spoke to us like a leader that you are. And I want to say thank you, ma. And I hope that with what you begin to see, you know that the feeling of not being so much appreciated may be out of frustration. Sometimes Nigerians love you, Nigerians who know see what you're doing, and we appreciate you.
Thank
To
you.
Doctor, thank you, ma. So, Doctor, to the issue on ground, my fellow compatriots, Nigerians who are on this space, I just want us to be clear on this issue of electoral reform. And that is the underlying factor. And that was the reason why we had the one-day conference and then we went to the National Assembly. There is nothing that is new to the National Assembly that is in that report. The basic highlights of the petition is ensuring transparency in the transmission of election results. The INEC Electoral Act of 2022, Section 60, subsection 5 says, gives INEC the option that the electoral or the presiding officer will transmit results in a way and manner as prescribed by INEC. And the question would have been, did INEC prescribe a method to transmit result? Which would be yes, according to paragraph 38 of the INEC guidelines. If you remember, Barrister Festus Okoye, the INEC Voter Registration Commissioner Federal, went around the country telling people that elections will be transmitted electronically. And that was why they requested for 313 billion as budget from President Buhari, which he gave to INEC. And from there, the chairman said that 150 billion was to be used for that technology alone. And somehow, on the day of the election, the Senate, the National Assembly and presidential election, one was transmitted and the other one wasn't found on IREF. And the professor came out and said there was a glitch. And surprisingly, every Nigerian today on this space, if I ask the question, what caused the glitch, would not be able to answer. And that is where Nigeria continues to get it wrong. When we focus on a symptom and not the problem, if there was a glitch, why do we not know why there was a glitch? Why should we hand over billions of naira to a person and to commit to a procedure and nothing is done and everybody moves on? So, because we allowed that brazen criminality to take place in 2023, the powers that be will consolidate on it. And that is why you see people defecting today from one place to another. The reasons are simple. There is a structure that you believe that if you join a certain place, it can help you to win your re-election. And that is where Nigerians must put the focus. The mere fact that the National Assembly, because with all due respect to our beloved senator of the FCT, Senator Ireti, she is here today because she has been accessible to Nigerians and she has made herself accessible. Nigerians, getting electoral reform is as important as we want to get it, beyond how Senator Ireti will want to get it. She's one woman out of 4 women. One of them is on suspension, one of the women. The other, she is in the Labour Party, which is a minority. There are more than 30 PDP senators. There are just 7 Labour Party senators. And everybody that is here, the onus is on us to impress it on our legislative representatives. Because one thing we must understand and make very clear is the mere fact that this has not been discussed since 2023 should tell you something. Remember that the 2022 Electoral Act was rejected more than 3 times by Buhari. There is a delay tactics in this. What is going to happen in 2027? If we do not close the loopholes, we must go back to the National Assembly, make the transmission mandatory, let the laws be direct. We cannot allow elections to be held at the behest of INEC for them to decide what they think is okay and then on the dime minute decide that we can change it. That is putting all of us, 200 million lives, at the mercy of INEC. That is what all of us are doing. And as long as we don't fix that electoral system, even if we cry, we talk about NSAS, we talk about food inflation, we all know the underlying causes of all of this. We must get a process where we can vote in people and send them out. That is it. So our own plan and strategy, Ma, and everybody here is by the 15th day, because after submitting this petition, we gave 30 days countdown, which will elapse at about the 6th or 7th of June. By the 15th day, I'm also proposing a peaceful walk, advocacy walk, to the National Assembly. I know that Senator Ireti has said that occupying this thing is not the solution, but Ma, we will have to put up a physical presence. And for the questions about if certain senators, whether from the judiciary, will be here, please, Ma, as much as you can, we just need the names and contacts of persons in any committee that is relevant. The same way we called you out and you responded, Nigerians will call out every lawmaker, beginning with the Senate Committee on Electoral Reform, the Judicial Reform, so that every senator knows the urgency of elections. Because it will be a grave danger if Nigerians allow 2027 to be a consolidation of 2023. All of us will almost be done for. Insecurity, we know what is going on there. So please, Senator Ma, for me, I have decided that this is the fight we are going to fight. Nigerians, are we ready to do it? Senator Ireti is just one person. How audible is her voice? Whatever she does, she will do it. What if she raises her hands and they decide not to pick her to speak up? She's only doing the best that she can do. We must decide that we want it, put our feet on the ground, and make this demand to work. Let me not, in order not to take too much time, that is just the conclusion of the entire electoral matter. Nigerians, do we realize how important this is? That the survival of Nigeria may just depend on the way the next election is conducted. If we understand this, then I think our efforts and focus till 2027 must be channeled in this direction. I thank you for this opportunity, Ma. I want to yield the floor
May
at the
I
risk
make
of
a suggestion as opposed to the walk or
yes,
preceding such?
yes, Ma.
Why doesn't all of you, at least I can see on the space, there are at least 642 people, definitely more people than are in the National Assembly. Why don't you all, everybody, within the next 1 week, reach out to your representative in a letter, any which way? I find that written things are best because we take those much more seriously. You put it in front of me and I have to read it and respond immediately. That would be a first step. So your representatives know by the time your representative, me, Senator Ireti, I've gotten 10 letters, 15 letters, 20 letters about one subject. I now know that these people, this thing is important to them. Am I making sense, please?
Yes, Ma.
Hello?
Yes, I can hear you very
Yeah,
clearly, Ma.
we can
It
hear
is
How
you,
very
Madam
about
important.
that?
Senator. I
Yes,
That's a
Ma.
good one. It's a
let
good one.
I think hold on, Randy. It's a good suggestion you're making. it's a suggestion, and we thank you for that.
Mhm.
That does not mean we are going to adopt it, but we thank you for that.
Okay.
I mean, there are measures that we are going to take.
No
I
problem.
remember
That's my
last
suggestion.
year,
Mm-hmm.
yes, and we appreciate you for that. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
but what I'm saying is that last year we sent, when I did the first electoral reform meeting, it was held at the Merit House. We had over 500 people turn up. We sent 360 letters to the House of Representative, and I think we're able to send over 50 letters to senators. I think you were out of the country because I reached out to you. You were somewhere in North Carolina or something like that.
Okay.
I followed up. I mean, I've lived in the FCT for almost 40 years. So I'm under your constituency. But I come from a state. I followed up the senator from my state. And I'm saying it on this space. I'm already organizing because we're going to catch him, whatever that means, because it has gotten to the point where we called him, we called his aide, we called all the people responsible. I had to go to the traditional ruler from my place to ask that they get him. This was somebody that I could go to his office. I mean, he was calling, we were relating. Now he's in the Senate and he's not reachable, even when we're demanding that he comes to an occasion that he has not sponsored, has not paid any money. So, ma'am, we hear you, but there is an action that we out here are going to take. I mean, we respect you and we thank you for the civil and democratic advice that you have given. We're not asking you to say more than that. The rest is our call, and we will appropriate what is necessary when the time comes. Thank you, ma'am.
May I take a minute and tell you a
We'll
small?
take
Can I tell
Steve.
you a small story?
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
When I was in university, I met a young woman who ended up becoming one of my lifelong friends. And I was sick. And I said to her, remember, I would be about 18, 19, 20, something. I can't remember how old. And I said to her, oh, I'm so sick. I wish I could put my face against my mother's arms. You know what I mean? And she said, no, I don't know what you mean. I don't have a mother. So she told me the story. It's not that she didn't have a mother, but she was estranged from her mother. And she now realized she was told her mother was dead. And she now realized her mother wasn't dead and how to reach her. Like, I'm a very tenacious person. So she told me that she had a vague idea what neighborhood her mother was living in and something like that. I went and I bought 100 postcards. I sat down and addressed them. Maybe I had a street. I addressed them to every house, the same name in that place. I sent out 100 postcards. But guess what? We found the mother. So what I'm trying to say to you, Dr. Mo, as you say, you don't have to take my advice. I'm not asking you to send a letter to your representative. I'm asking several of you to send several letters to your representative. I am pretty sure, I don't know who your representative is, but had he received even 20 letters about something, you know that this is very important.
Senator Ma.
Hello, I didn't hear that.
Senator Ma.
Yes.
you know, from my first meeting with you yesterday, I told you the mother part of you sometimes speaks so much that the senator in you, it is always reflected in how you approach your own policies and leadership.
Mm-hmm.
Ma, do you know that there are senators or senatorial districts in Nigeria who do not even know the constituency office of their lawmakers? Like there could be a building somewhere where they are actually never there. The only time they see them come, maybe they come for a public function in the community. They come maybe for the burial of one big person, and it is almost like a political rally, and then the security wicks them away. Ma, we have heard what you have said. Sending letters to our senatorial districts and lawmakers, including the House of Reps, is one step. calling everybody out, beginning with the Senate Committee Chairman, that is Senator Simon Bakola Long, who is the current chairman, and Senator Sharafadin Abiodun Ali, your senatorial South Senatorial District, who is the former chairman, will begin by tomorrow. You will be seeing them from my own end. If Nigerians join and support, of which I know we will. But it will even be at plenary. It is better for us to come to the National Assembly where everybody there is gathered. Because, you are actually the senator of senators. Because all senators are actually somehow your members of your senatorial district. Because your senatorial.
Hello. It has gone.
I
Hello.
think he has issue with his network. We can still
Yes.
see him, but he has issue with his network, I think.
Mhm.
Randy, can you go on?
Randy, are you speaking? Can anybody? I can hear.
Nobody can hear him.
Okay, I think the network definitely. Okay, Randy, try again. Let's see. Yeah, the network is at it. Okay. Ma'am, like I said, we would let me see. We have Health, Hubert, and Steve. We'll take just a minute. We'll take all the questions together, and then Senator Ireti can give her closing remark on this. Again, I apologize. You're in the hospital taking care of somebody after you have a hectic day. But again, there is nobody to run to, so we'll keep putting pressure on you. Sorry, it is you. You asked for the job, and you have it. So, as much as I feel very empathetic, I'm sorry, but you understand what I mean. Might have said it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but
You
yeah.
Senator
So
Ireti in the process, right?
so let's go in this session. Steve, you were here first, so let's hear from you quickly, and then Health, and then who is the other person now? Is gone down, and that will be it. You give your closing remark, and then we'll set the next session that we're going to have with you in the next 2 or 3 weeks on this. Steve, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here, Dr. Mo. Good
Okay.
evening. Good evening, Senator Ireti. Good evening, Dr. Mo. Good evening, everyone on the space. Happy
Good
Mother's Day.
evening.
Happy Mother's Day to all the
Thank
mothers
you.
in the
Thank you.
building.
Thank you.
I just want to I want to say my mind. I want to make my complaint, and I want to say the situation of the country, the things we go through, are definitely because of starvation. Because at the end of the day, electoral reform, maybe insecurity, um, whatever happens in the country, the only reason this thing can actually work, there can be a solution, if the youths are being carried along. Because I, as a person, I spent most of my years learning, acquiring new skills. I have a lot of skills to an extent. At my early age, I wasn't sure I'm up to 15, 16 when I started learning skills. I had to drop out of secondary school to learn skills. So, because we were made to understand that we won't be able to survive. And my guidance then, were not able to pay, to further to foot my educational fields. So one way or the other, I learned so many skills. Solar installation. Right now, I actually do farming. I've gone into fashion designing, different kind of things. But to an extent, I have been able to stamp my feet on a business that was actually working for me. So one way or the other, the situation of the country, Nigeria happened to me. Twice, everything ran down. It's not as if I'm not hardworking enough. But the more you add the energy, the more things keep getting complicated. And at the end of the day, when we as a youth, when we say our mind, it tends to be as if they haven't, like, the elders haven't passed through the same thing we passed through. But at the end of, we notice that we are in a more difficult world than they were in.
Mhm.
Based
Yeah.
on
Mhm.
based on what my parents and my guardians told me, you don't have to actually work this way to survive. Now you have to do three, four things to survive in Nigeria. And to an extent, all those things you do won't be able to put food on your table and table of the family. So man, what
Mhm.
all I want to say is whatever decision you're making, whatever whatever way you want to help. Because I've gone through your profile, I've gone through everything you've done. I really appreciate you, man. You are solidly behind, most especially the woman, the mother. You are solidly behind everyone. I saw the philanthropic art, the refrigerator, everything you actually gave out at your constituency. Like I really appreciate all those. If each and every constituency actually does like that, by now I think there will be a bit of like comfortability among us. So the thing now is I want everyone to carry the youth along. You are like a mother to us. You are the one we are making our complaint to. We might have tried every other means, try to get to our constituency. We are unable to reach them. So we see you as our mother. And I am actually crying out for help. It's more like
Thank you, Steve.
whatever you
Mm.
want to do, whatever decision you want to make sure the youths that actually understand what is happening in their vicinity or among themselves. Make sure you carry one or two of them along that could actually give ideas. Be- be- sorry,
May I ask you a question? May I ask you a question?
yes, ma'am, go on, ma'am.
You said the youth should be carried along. Can you tell me how so I can suggest it? Tell me that you want X, Y, and Z. Break it down to me that this is what we want done. And then I will know.
Okay,
Apart from,
okay,
I mean, the carrying along.
yeah,
Tell me.
I understand you, ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
it's very simple and logical at the same time. As there are a lot of businesses we do,
Mm-hmm.
we do as a youth that we know these are the kind of things that work in our environment. Before we go
Mm-hmm.
into any business, we make sure it will work because we don't have any money to lose.
Mm-hmm.
So at the end of the day, what I meant is that if, for example, I'm into fish farming. So if
Mm-hmm.
it's fish farming you really want to assist with, there should be
Mm-hmm.
someone that actually know about the fish farming that will explain everything, that will give you the details of everything and how it
Mm-hmm.
actually works. Because I believe
Mm-hmm.
if why I specialize most in farming is because if there is least starvation in the country by now, everybody there won't be a lot of insecurities because
Yes, I agree. I agree with you.
most of the insecurities are caused by starvation. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
you have a family that you've not fed for 2 days. You might be tempted to do something that might harm others in
Mm-hmm.
order to feed them.
Mm-hmm.
And that is where insecurity
Mm-hmm.
starts from. Your neighbor to take care of your family.
Mm-hmm.
It actually happen because you don't have other options. So
Yes,
now,
I
what
understand.
I'm actually trying to say is that
Mm-hmm.
once we help the youth, we give them a platform, give them a business to do that will actually help the community. That
Okay.
that alone is enough. And I don't think there is any youth out there now that don't need help. But just
Okay.
like the way they take the help is the issue. Most of them just say, okay, you take this money, take this money. And at the end of the day, the money doesn't do anything. But once you give
Okay, I
them the
understand.
platform, once you give them the platform, give them what they are supposed to do with it, train them on how to do it, give them a week, 2 weeks training on how to do it, then definitely they will make use of it. But if you just say, okay, you take this money, take this money, at the end of the day, they will start a business that they don't know anything about. I'm sorry for taking time. I'm only saying it from a place of pain.
Okay, I understand. So
Thank
you want a sincerity of purpose. You want um sort of a mentorship. In other words, it's not just throw money at you,
no, no,
but
just
to
throw
help
money.
you succeed.
Help us succeed. Exactly.
I
Exactly.
understand. Help you succeed. I get it. Okay, I understand. I will keep that in mind.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you for that. Health, please, can you make it very snappy so that
Yes, good
go
evening.
ahead, Health.
Good evening, Senator. Good evening. Thank you for
Good eve-
coming to this
Good
space.
evening. Good
Happy Mother's
evening.
Day to you. Well,
Thank you.
I don't know if I'm allowed to ask this question on this forum or it's just electoral reform. Although I have one question on electoral reform, let me just go straight ahead. The first one on electoral reform is we all know that I read INEC said they had issues, they had glitches with IREV during the last presidential election. And when it got to court, the court ruled that INEC, it wasn't mandatory for them to use IREV to transmit results. So I know the committee is looking at electoral reforms. I don't know if this is part of it, because that would be a game changer, not for
It
us.
is. It is part of it. It
Okay,
is part of it. Even INEC is telling us that we can be more specific as to what they need to do. So we are looking at it. I promise you.
okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Second
Mhm.
one is the IDPs in Abuja.
Yes.
I don't know
Mhm.
if there is anything that is being done to like relocate them to a more habitable place. That
It's interesting you should bring that up because truthfully, it's just that everything is so slow. But I had met with the DG of that's in charge of the IDPs, and the idea is to relocate them to a place where the homes are built for them, where there are schools, where they are integrated into the community, where they can work, where they can trade, and that's the plan. I also feel terrible that people are in an IDP camp for 9 years. It's just not good enough. As I keep saying, a society is judged by how it treats its less privileged, and the IDPs are as underprivileged as you can get. Yes, it is being worked on. I will check on it. I want you all to also understand one thing. I know we're not here to talk about me, but FCT has on the national level or any forget area councils, right? We won't go into local government. They have 3 representatives, 1 senator and 2 House of Reps. That's all you elect. In a state, you have a governor, 3 senators, the House of Reps, several of them, then a state assembly. And FCT's population, my senatorial constituency of about almost 5 million people, is almost the size of any big constituency, Kano, Lagos, where you have all these other people that can assist. So everything boils down to just us. Senator, senator, senator. Okay? In the past, ministers helped by understanding the uniqueness of FCT. That has not been the case now. But I believe things are going to change soon. So I want you all to understand that when your National Assembly representatives are a little slower, because they're the only ones you have in FCT. I had this discussion with him. Now, had I had a better relationship with the minister, maybe by now he would have allocated the land to them to do this and things would have been on the way because I discussed with him about how we could build cheaper houses by using hydroform because I'm an engineer and so many ways. And they agreed to it, but they still don't have the land. So yes, madam, it is a great concern of mine.
Thank you, ma. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Everman, I've been trying to get you up. Unfortunately, the network is not allowing you to come up. And at this point, I would have to say, maybe to ask you, Senator Ireti, I know you're right there in the hospital, to give us a just a closing remark. And like we've agreed with you, in the next 2 or 3 weeks, you're going to come up in the space again, because we also, I mean, I didn't even tell you this, but independently, have sent some people around the FCT to go and verify some of the things you have said you've done for the second year. And I realized there's a place called, it's Maitama after Orozo. It's far, it's way inside. And I know that we were shocked that when we got there, you put a borehole there and the community were really happy. But I checked on your handle and I saw somewhere where somebody was insulting you over the fact that you put a borehole. But when our men got there, we saw that those people haven't had, in fact, what they said to us is that they travel 4 hours every day to go and get water. And that in fact, if anybody goes there and say anything bad about you, that person will be lynched, you know. And while we come up, we see on Twitter where people are insulting you and saying that stupid woman, yeah, is it borehole you are putting in 21st century and all of that. Some of these people, and my shock was that you are reaching out to those places. I'm not one to patronize people, but I want to say that you're not a typical politician and you need to stay strong even at your age, because I see a lot of people, and I can assure you that 90% of the people that come on your timeline to insult you, most of them are paid to do that, so that you don't get. I know, of course, there's nothing that is going to prick you or take you away, but it's important in a time like this to say certain things. And like I said, we will try, even with your connection, to reach out to the other senators so that we can have them, because we also have a culture in Nigeria where, and we can't blame the young people. It is you that we see that will keep pounding, forgetting that there are other 108 senators. But you that show up, you are the one that will beat. We will beat you and use you to clean ground and everything regardless. But God will help us as Nigerian youth. All those that are hiding, we will reach out to them. This is a recorded space, and it is good to send it to the senators and House of Rep members, because we will find them. We put them there. And whether they are in, for those of them who think they are a majority and they can destroy the values and virtues, we are also coming for them. You know, we're not going to let them go. I just want to say that we would begin to wind down on what you've done in 2 years. And so when you return back in the next 3 weeks, you're going to highlight that. There are questions that people are asking, but for the context of this room, I'm not going to allow it. But I'm saying to you that when you come back in 3 weeks, because you are the senator in Abuja and you are the senator of the Labour Party, I would allow people to ask you direct questions as concerning the crisis going on in the Labour Party. We're not going to deal with that today. I just want you to know, so that whatever preparation you have to do, because that's where the water is really boiling. But at this point, I want to thank you, and I will ask you to give your closing remark and attend to your patient in the hospital. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Dr. Mo. One, I believe I always tell my children something, that always avoid a fight until it is inevitable. So that's something I'm going to say to you. There are lots of things can be resolved amicably and peacefully. Secondly, I am saying that, yes, I believe in basic solutions. there's no point if you haven't eaten all day and I tell you, oh, wait, let me go and get you cordon bleu cooking. No, just give me food. And that is why when people have not had water for 18 years, I go and put a borehole there. I go round, and the repair of a lot of boreholes, I use my money, because when they only need a pump that has not worked for 6 years, 200K, I can do that without waiting for it to go through appropriation and all of that, because I believe I'm a doer. Now, yes, we are Labour Party. And those that are not Labour Party has a problem, but we will solve it, and it's not the talk for today. I am always available. I'm not one for hiding. I say the truth, and once I'm speaking the truth, you can call me anytime, anywhere, and I will tell you as it is. I don't need to rehearse the truth. So thank you for having me on this space, and I hope that I was able to add some value to whatever you were doing here today. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Madam Senator. The only senator in the Federal Capital Territory. Other states have 3 senators, but you are the highest ranking elected officer in the FCT. And so we'll come back to you again after 3 weeks. And you have to bear with us because we are impatient, we are hungry, we're tired, we are angry, and we are sick. We don't have food. Then we're going through things. So I'm just saying that bear with us because we'll keep knocking at your door. But thank you for granting us access. We still will not take you for granted, even though, yes, it's our right to demand for you to come. But I mean, you answered us. I would call you, collaborate with you, and ensure that we get other senators here. Honorable Ben Atena Bene is on the flight right now. For the audience and people who are here, I know that his bill on he has a bill in the House that has to do with independent observers. What that means is that a policy that will allow for companies and organizations to be able to set up their own INEC kind of, institutions that will allow for them to be able to capture, data and voting, and be able to also make projections. If you watch on CNN, you will see different projections so that when INEC is projecting something wrong, other companies and people who have those institutions and organizations can also make their projections. Therefore, when we go to court, we will have something, concrete evidence to be able to show. Many don't know that there is need for a policy that will allow that, so that INEC does not become the only clearinghouse for votes on election day. He's going to be here in 2 days with us, or if I'm able to get him tomorrow, we'll follow up with him. But in 3 weeks, Senator Ireti, we're going to come back to you. I want to say a good evening to you and thank you. Please, our prayers to the patient in the hospital, and thank you for reaching out for every day, just engaging with people. Yes, because you're the only senator, sometimes what you're doing is just touching a fragment of people, and it's important to bring that to your notice. But I want to say we sincerely thank you, because every time we call on you, you are available to answer the young people and the people of your constituency. And